All right. So I'm Brittany Horton, and I am the digital coach for elementary schools in the Southeast.
I'm Zuri Hunter. I'm the digital coach for the near Northeast.
And I am Satara Douglas, and I am a coach for the Southwest.
What school are you at, Megan?
I'm at Brown International.
Oh, cool.
What region is that?
I don't know what region that is.
Northwest.
Southwest?
Yeah.
Northwest.
Northwest.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Well, this session, we're going to be talking about, you chose it, but authentically processing information and what that really means, and then how technology can support it. And I think Zuri's going to be looking a little bit further what that means. So let me get this situated.
So authentic learning is a way for students to connect to what they are learning, to previous learning, or to funds of knowledge. So funds of knowledge is like what the student is coming into the classroom with. So it can be the knowledge and expertise that students and their family members have just because of their roles or because of their culture, their community, things of that nature. So that's what we will be diving into today.
Perfect. And then we're connecting this to our series, so culturally responsive education. It's all around learning conditions, and more specifically, like in Zaretta Hammond and Marziano, they say by creating pictures and visuals, other non-linguistic representation is one of the most powerful ways to process information. So thinking of how we can connect the content to more than just being academic vocabulary, so pictures and diagrams and other things besides just using language. And that's what we're going to explore a little bit more today.
Okay.
So, and I wanted to, before I dive into this first strategy, I just wanted to explain too that just be thinking of one that you could see you using with the lesson coming up with your students, so that you can, because you're going to have time in this session to work on something. Okay. So just be thinking as we're going through these examples, be like, oh, that's great, or oh, I could connect with this. So I have 3 examples here of a way you can use Seesaw. The district pays for Seesaw, so all of your kids have access to it. Mm-hmm. Have your kids gotten a chance to be on Seesaw this year or not yet?
Yeah, they have. Like I said in the other one, our STP collected all the tech and then redistributed it. So my kids just got their computers because I'm 3rd grade. So they started with 5th and 4th. Mm-hmm. And then 3rd. So last week they got them. So now they have used Seesaw just a couple times. Most of them are familiar with it from last year, but
yeah. Familiar with it, maybe sick of it, one of the 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually like Seesaw. So these,
cool.
I like seeing these.
Yeah, so there's 3 different templates on here, just kind of some ideas to help students connect that knowledge. So this is looking at more of connecting rather than background knowledge you're bringing from home, but more of content that you've already taught. So this first one, the images are linked, and I'm going to make sure I share this tab. This one has more of a journal, so weekly connections journal. So I think it'd be more of coming in once a week to then add. So here's the table of contents. It's just a template, like I said. So you could have students put it in, or you could plan and put the dates in here. Mm-hmm. And then they would come in here and they would do a weekly reflection, maybe on Fridays or whatever, trying to connect that knowledge they had already learned to understand that it's not just something I learned and then I'm done, right? There's a connection to my learning and it continues to grow. So maybe this is something you would use throughout the month, right? So each Friday they would revisit it and maybe save it as a draft if you wanted to do it that way, or they could submit it and you send it back. Just an ongoing thing between you and your students, just to continue reflecting on that learning. So that template's on there for you to use. There's also this one I thought was pretty cool. It's called Stick It. And again, this could be something that you choose to do. And let me share my tab. On Fridays or something, however you would want to do it, or Mondays. But what stuck with you today, and this is really hard to see on there, but what connections can you make from last week? So again, trying to be intentional about making those connections to previous learning, whatever that looks like. And so there's multiple slides of the same thing. There's also the audio in here if some of your students need that assistance with reading the text. So these templates are already created for you. And that first one is actually in the DPS library. The first one I showed you, I could add all these in there. But And the last one is an example of using it specifically in math. This is one I didn't create. Another teacher created this one, but I thought it fit really well and then applied to another, like a specific content area.
You gotta share it with her.
Yeah. So this is a math journal, essentially, but it's the same concept. So I thought this was good because you're connecting the learning from the previous day in a journal format. So like it's the same type of problem on the left, and it goes into what CER stands for. It's like, I have to look at it again, but some of this evidence, reasoning. But then the next day, it's the same thing, different problem. So they're connecting what they already learned and then applying it again. And like with especially in elementary, using that routine piece of stuff is super helpful. They understand the expectations, and then they're also being able to make those connections at the same time. So again, just another template if you're interested in using something like that in your classroom.
Yeah, I like all of those.
Good.
That's awesome. Next up is me. I'm doing Canva. I don't know if you've used Canva before.
I have not.
But Brittany and I are actually putting together an all-in-one so we can send out to teachers. But Canva is really cool because it has these templates. So I just chose to go for a graphic organizer because Zaretta Hammond talks about how when we learn this information, it's a good way to put it into a graphic organizer so that we remember it. So it's done in a very authentic way. So I'm sure teaching third grade, you've done plenty of graphic organizers.
Yeah.
So Brittany, if you wouldn't mind clicking that first link. I made this one. I think I made, oh no, not that one. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not it.
Oh yeah, it's a video.
Yep.
Sorry.
I made this one. I did this. I taught first grade last year. And so we talked about character traits. So I made this graphic organizer of character traits. I did internal traits, the evidence within the book that showed those internal traits like passionate, honest, afraid. And then I did external traits and then evidence for that as well. So your students can go in here and add these for third grade, or, you can print out this template and have them write on top of it. So that's why I loved it. I wish I would have had this last year. And at the bottom, I put a little sentence stem. So I think the is because, and then the evidence. So like, I think the character is passionate because, they love their family. So that's one template for you.
And I'm automatically logged into Canva. Is
yes,
that how it
you
works?
should be. Yes,
Okay.
because DPS has a relationship with Canva, so you should already have an account.
Okay.
Just make sure you use your .NET account.
Yeah.
And then I have a link that you can search a bunch of graphic organizers. So we've got like the Venn diagram. Oh, you're good. That's fine. And a lot of these, since you're already using Seesaw, can just be put into Seesaw. You can just take that template, download it, and then upload it into Seesaw. So there's a bunch. I mean,
That's awesome.
There's character. There's one with like a sandwich. So if you're doing writing, like how you have your introduction, conclusion, like middle.
Yeah.
There's some great ones. Middle details. I don't know where that sandwich was. I saw it somewhere.
You can also,
great.
Canva has a good search tool. You could type in like
You could
sandwich
graphic organizer, and you would pop right up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll let you play with it there later.
Yeah.
And then we have Google Drawings. This one's also a great one if you'd like to use it. This link will show you a bunch of templates. Hold on one second. That are already made. So we've got Venn diagrams, KWL, timelines, really good for literacy, chain and effect, or cause and effect chain, fishbone planner, flow charts. So all of those, you can just click on them and you can make them your own.
That's good.
They're really nice. So that would be another link for you to check out.
Do you think, are those, the kids have access? Because sometimes the kids don't have access to everything in Google. You know how like they can use Jamboard or something. They can access those easily.
I believe so.
Yeah, I would think honestly, Megan, like however you push out information to your kids. So if your kids are using Seesaw, it might be better to download it and then upload it onto
And
Seesaw.
put it into Seesaw.
Yeah.
And then if they're using rather than teaching them a whole new platform just to access information, you know what I mean?
Because I know Canva you can put in your students because we tried it with each other. You can, but it just might be a lot of work for third grade possibly.
Yeah,
It might be easier for you to download it and put it into Seesaw.
I can always just put it in Seesaw.
Yeah, I think Canva is good. The class setting, if you have kids creating graphic organizers, it's good because you can create a class and send out a template and be like, hey, change this how you want to create a template. But if they're not creating the template themselves, then I would just put it in Seesaw probably if that's what you're using.
Which is kind of cool for Canva because then you get like the student voice and advocacy,
Mhm,
you know,
for sure.
and they get to kind of be creative with it.
For sure.
Just depends on what you like.
Okay.
Next up is Pear Deck.
All right, so very similar in the same,
I love Pear Deck.
it's very similar to like how they're using Seesaw or Google Drawings or Canva. However, Pear Deck allows you to allow the kids to authentically process the information as you're teaching it. So they could all be on their individual devices and processing the information actively. And so with, Brittany, can you click on that
Yeah.
link?
Yeah.
So I just gave one sample because Pear Deck has a million, and really, when I read Zaretta Hammond, it's about the type of questions you use. So like Bloom's taxonomy, the more you're using those higher level questions, the more you're getting them to authentically process it. So if you go through like the slides, those are just a few of them. But in Pear Deck, it would allow the kids to respond. So at the bottom, it tells you how they can respond, whether they're typing or drawing.
Yeah.
And as you can see, some of those questions literally either they helped me make up or I made up myself. But this is just a way for them to process it during the actual lesson. And then you could also do it like in small groups where maybe not everyone's in a computer, but they're working in groups to process the information.
Cool. Yeah, I've used Pear Deck in the spring of 2020 when, like, at the beginning of everything, to do like attendance every day. But I haven't used it since, really.
No worries.
But I like that there's a lot more templates in there and pre-made things than I realized.
Yeah.
I love it because it's already in Google. It's
Mhm.
already in Google Slides.
Your kids already have the extension on there. The Orchard, I think, is the name of Pear Deck's library of all their different templates. Hi, Kaylee. So I was gonna ask you something. I forget what it was. So I guess it's not important.
It's all good.
Let me hop back over to our. Okay. So the next slide on the and do you mind putting the link back in the chat and let Kaylee's in here?
Yeah.
The next slide is just a resource of just different links to the examples one that we showed. There's also examples of hyperdocs on here. I didn't go too much into hyperdocs just because I felt like for elementary reasons it might be easier just to talk about it in the sense of Seesaw. Essentially, hyperdocs are just like templates made with Google Slides, essentially, and the kids would take it and make a copy. Figured it'd be the same thing as you uploading different pages to a Seesaw activity type of thing. And since kids already use Seesaw, I figured it might be best to go in that direction. But if you're interested in hyperdocs, there's a link in here for a lot of different hyperdocs templates that you can use, as well as Google Sites Student Portfolio as another example of a way to authentically process that information.
And for those graphic organizers, Megan and Kaylee, I put in my example that I created for those character traits and also just another Seesaw activity that you can take if you'd like. And then of course we've got Pear Deck in there, our Pear Deck all-in-one, our G Suite all-in-one.
Yeah, and so those are up here too because we're gonna give you time here to work to do that planning like we talked about. But if you're like, I forget how to get my kids on Pear Deck or whatever, like maybe it's just like a use question, then that's where the all-in-ones are gonna be super helpful. But you're also gonna have all three of us during this time. So just pull us and say, hey, I forget how to do this. Can you help me with this? And we're happy to. So that's what the next, we will be back here at like 9:15. It says 9:20, but we'll be back here at 9:15. So you have over 30 minutes to kind of play around and start planning to what you can do to make this part of your classroom and implement it maybe hopefully this week or next week or whatever works for you. And we'll be here during that time as a support. We'll hop on mute. But if you have questions or want to brainstorm ideas, we are here for you for that. And we'll give you a heads up before we kind of come back to then debrief just kind of about what you created. Kaylee, where are you at? Like teaching wise, not like physically, where are you at?
I'm at home.
Yeah, I see that.
I am at South. I'm the digital coach at South.
That's what I thought. I know your name looked familiar in a lot of our chats.
Yeah.
Cool.
Really like them. Thank you.
All right. I am going to, that's the wrong one.
Do either of you have any questions before you start your independent time? No? Okay. Megan's like, I'm good to go.
Yeah, and the slide deck should be in the chat. So if you need access to that, that's where it's at. But yeah, just raise your, or you don't have to raise your hand. Just speak up if you need some help, and we're here to help if you need it. If you guys can come back whenever you can get, look, you're fast, Megan.
There you go.
We're just gonna take some time, and Kaylee, I'm not really sure what if you worked on anything here or not, because we kind of hopped in towards the end there, but or had a chance to take a look at the slide deck. But we just wanted to take this time in a small group to kind of reflect, because we felt like a lot of times when you're in small groups, it can be a little bit more intimate reflection opposed to like when you're in a bigger group and you don't get a chance to relate to what other teachers are sharing. But just wanted to take a minute to address the question that, well, I have it up here, I guess I should share my screen. Of what is the most important takeaway from strategy 3, or even if you just want to kind of share like some ideas you thought of while you had that time to explore. That's what we just want to spend this last 5 minutes going over here, and then we're going to head back to the main call. So do either one of you guys want to just kind of share either what you explored, or just kind of a takeaway you had from the strategy 3 we discussed today?
I just kind of explored the seesaw things, and Canva, some templates that might be useful to use with my students. We're an IB school, and I found one like where the kids are going to do a hero project, because our unit is talking about how people can be heroes, not like superheroes, but everyday people. And I found one that is literally like a My Hero template in Canva, so I liked that. I was just kind of, and then I was looking at Pear Deck and stuff. I just was looking at all the different things, and saving ones that I like.
Yeah, you can explore forever, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did just a quick, I'm curious, when you click the link, did it log you right in like we thought, or did you have to go through a registration process with Canva?
I think I had to click sign in or something, but it
Okay.
worked. It wasn't hard or anything.
Cool. Just want to make sure that was the process.
Yeah, I was looking at the Canva templates, and the one that you guys linked in there, that was a template, yes? Or was that just a collaborating on one?
No, that was a template that you can take over.
Okay, yeah.
You created it.
Yeah, I did create it, but you can take it.
Oh, no, I was just curious how you shared it, if it was set up that people were collaborating on together or separate templates. And so I was looking at Schoology because, sorry, I hopped on the wrong session. I should have done the secondary one, but it's cool. I like hanging out and seeing. But I can look at those later. But I was looking at, apparently Canva integrates with Schoology, which seems like it would be really cool if it was like a Google Drive assignment, but through Canva. It seems, I don't know. I use Canva all the time. It feels like a good, authentic life skill.
Yeah, Canva is definitely a great resource too. And then too, they have the classroom piece so that your kids can then, I definitely see it in high school setting too, where that can be really useful to have the kids go on there and create different things.
Yeah, collaborate. Because if you're thinking like a Venn diagram, right, like a graphic organizer, then you can have a group of like 3 working on that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what grade you teach, Kaylee.
She's a digital coach.
Oh, that's right, digital coach. Sorry, never mind.
No, it's fine. But yeah, it seems like it'd be really cool if it did integrate straight in there and like go straight into the grade book and like not have to be like a separate thing. It's separate logins.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Well, thanks for choosing our session, guys. We're gonna, did you find the link? Okay, so Tara's gonna put the link in the chat to head back to the main call, and we'll do like a group reflection with everybody, and then we'll be done for the day. So thanks for hanging out today. We'll see you back in the main call.
Thanks.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
And then, stop recording.